Okay, guys, and the last replay we've got for you today is a match on Lemberg, or Sector 37. It's between the Axis teams of Jeers and PL and Ashes in Your Mouth versus Glimmerman 133 and Grenshak, also known as the Ape Man. So there was quite a bit of furious combat in between the two teams. Jeerzen played Panzer Elite and Ashes played Wehrmacht. And the other two played Soviets to help defend their motherland. Things were looking quite good in the beginning.
I really love their early use of big conscript blobs. It was much more impressive than seeing the normal sniper starts from them. They got a lot of conscripts.
Yeah, many Molotovs flew around.
Yeah, they swarmed over poor Jeerzen's half tracks. They went down pretty fast. And then I guess Glims brought up the AT guns, which he used really well against Jeerzen's armored cars. I was pretty impressed with that.
Later, he broke out the snipers and just began to pick away at the poor Panzer Grenadiers invading.
Yeah, it's always hurting when the snipers start picking away at those. 45 manpower per reinforce is a lot.
That's quite a chunk, especially if they're a main brute of your force, and if you've lost quite a few half tracks and armored cars, which Jeerzen had quite a few. Quite hard to come back.
Yeah, I think in the early game, the Axis team was actually really hurting. They were being really offensive, which I liked. I noticed they camped quite a bit on the hill just outside the Soviet base, and they definitely did a lot of damage, but I think they were losing a little bit, and I think that was due to Jeerzen's teching straight to Panthers. But once those came out, then the tide seemed to turn. Glims had some Su-85s and his AT guns, and there were some really cool battles between those two tank types. But
yep.
Obviously in favor of Panthers.
Yep, there was a lot of armored car combat to seemingly beat down any kind of infantry and some of the AT guns, but they taken out by overall just some call-in-arty firestorms from Ashes, who did fairly well during the game. I thought he was going to pop a King Tiger by the end of it, but he didn't manage to get around to it.
Yeah, I think they may have run out of time.
Interesting doctrine selection.
Yeah, victory points were ticking.
The Soviet player, I guess. Both of the Soviets went breakthrough, but they each took a different side. I was kind of intrigued by that.
Yeah, it was interesting, but I'm not sure if Ape's choice of the left-hand side breakthrough was too effective. His T-34 really didn't do too much, and I think he would have been much better served going for Katyushas. Some artillery would have been very nice on the center defenses that Ashes had thrown up.
Yeah, I have to agree. His medic bunkers were being a pain, and certainly his mortars and MGs weren't helping.
Alright guys, that wraps up news from the front, and I hope to see you next week with some better news for the Allied side. But anyway, until next week, ciao.
Yeah. See you guys.